gamers, and welcome to episode 430 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for September 24th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
It's a cloudy, rainy weekend, Daniel.
Yeah.
Over here in the East Coast,
Getting that
kind of
hurricane
northeast
weather.
coast. Yeah. What is it? Ophelia? Isn't that like Hamlet's girlfriend or whatever?
Something like that.
Yeah, I only remember that because I did play Hamlet in elementary school, and I played her father, who I don't know the name of, even though I played him. But man, it's officially fall now, right? Is it
maybe.
Is it like the 22nd was a day, or 21st? It was one of those days, I believe. That's what it usually falls under. But it's maybe some type of rotation of the sun kind of thing. So the
Yesterday,
dates always
apparently,
change.
September 23rd at 2:50 a.m.
Okay, yeah, and that's my cousin's birthday was that day. So happy birthday, belated birthday to him. My sister's birthday was the 22nd, and then I had my other sister's birthday, the 28th. All these people in freaking September. And then I think I had an aunt at the 1st of September, around there. Yeah, so there, had quite a few family members this month. So let's get right into it. So we got let's start with football, man. My Washington team, we escaped with the win in Denver. Like, we were down 21-3. We came back, got the lead. Then Russell Wilson threw a freaking Hail Mary. It popped up in the air. The guy caught it, and they had a chance to, tie it with the 2-point conversion. I was pissed because I was like, the game was supposed to be over. But then he didn't get a 2-point conversion. Technically, it looked like it was a PI call. So everybody's saying, oh, the refs missed it, blah, blah, blah. Even though technically the refs missed it 2 plays ago when a guy caught the ball out of bounds on Denver, where it should have not even been a play then. But nobody wants to talk about that. You got to talk about what's happening in the game. So I understand. I get it. No, I get it. And yes, it was a PI call. But guess what? I don't give a fuck. Because everybody gets fucked over sometimes. We just didn't get fucked over this time. We get fucked over a lot of times. But, I mean, just like every team gets fucked over. The team that gets fucked over the most is the Lions, which I believe they got fucked over again this past weekend. They lost to, who did they lose to? I forget. But they got it wasn't a team, you thought they would win. I know that. You didn't think they would lose this game. Ravens, they did win. Some injuries, though. Their top wide receiver got hurt. I don't know if he's not playing this weekend. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that hurts them. But they're playing the Colts, so they should still win. But they beat the Bengals. Bengals, I believe they were the favorite to win that division. So that was big. Then you have what else do you have? Jets lost to the Cowboys. I mean, as expected, Jets are down one of the best quarterbacks ever. Yeah. And Giants, I thought Giants were going to lose. They were going to lose against the worst team in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals, who are trying to lose. And like Arizona, they were up. I think they were up like 21-0 or something, or 20-something-0. But I guess they realized, like, what are we doing? We're trying to lose. We're trying to get the first pick. And then the Giants came back and won. Overall, it was a cool week of football. I'm trying to think of some exciting games that happened. I think it's because I'm still kind of with baseball, so I'm not really seeing it. But I just watched the Washington game and the Baltimore game. Those were really the 2 games I've seen. Other games I didn't really see the highlights of. Getting to baseball, you have our Orioles. They haven't been doing really good this past week. They've been kind of like 500, like I think 5-5 at least the last 10 games. They did win as of this podcast yesterday, and they play again today. This will be the last game of the 4-game series, so hopefully they can make it 2-2. But they did beat the Houston Astros, who are some people are still favoring to win the AL 2 out of 3, so that's good. But the Houston Astros, they're kind of falling. That now they're in the wild card. They were leading the division. Their division is real tight. Like they're all like a half a game from each other. So the top 3 teams. So that is exciting to watch. While the Orioles and the Braves are exciting to watch because who's going to win this division? Orioles are still like a game and a half above them, but they have the tiebreaker. So that's good. I'm just going to go all in, man. I'm saying we're going to win the World Series, Dan, so I don't even care what happens. I don't care what happens at the end of the season. Like, we can just lose the rest of these games or whatever and just get the wild card or whatever. Or if we just get the wild card, I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to be like, no matter. It's going to be a longer trip to the World Series.
There you go.
Oh, so that's all right. The Atlanta, they pretty much have it in the bag about getting home field advantage. So, I believe so. Actually, I don't know how far the Dodgers are from them. But Twins clinched it. They won a division because their division fucking sucks. Because they would be in like 4th place if they were in the East. So lucky them. I don't know if anybody else has clinched like since then. Because I already told you about the Dodgers. Oh, let me see the standings here. Nope. Yeah. Oh, Milwaukee has clinched. They have clinched the playoff, but they haven't clinched the division yet. But it looks like they're going to win it. I mean, they would have to probably lose most of the games. They have to lose most of the games they have left, and Chicago would have to win. Chicago is 7 games back, so it's only about maybe 7 games left or something. So I guess they would have to lose every game. And Chicago had to win every game. So yeah, that you might as well say Milwaukee got it. But yeah, man, it looks like New York has a off. New York Yankees, I should say, they have a long shot of making it if these other teams just keep losing, and they just win every game. But it looks like no New York teams are going to be in the playoffs. And
that's the way I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind the Mets, but yeah, look, I'll take it. And it looks like it's one LA team. So the big market teams is probably LA, Philly are in it as of right now. They haven't clinched it though, but they are in it as of now. They have a clinch a spot. It looks like them, Philly. I would consider Philly a big market. I mean, hell, they got all the sports in their damn city, so yeah. And I consider Chicago a big market too. If the Cubs get in, that's a big market. If they get in, so they have a chance. Houston, I don't know. They're not. I don't know what they are compared to those cities I just said. Tampa Bay is a big market, right, Daniel? That's a huge market. Huge. Oh yeah.
It's got all the sports.
Okay, so they're not going to move. They're definitely not going to move. So anybody was worried about Tampa Bay moving, you don't have to worry. Which is that basically most of America though wants them to move, so they're pretty mad, or at least move to the city. So that's what I was hoping. I was like, okay, they're not going to move from Tampa, like the Tampa Bay area, because they're in what's it called? What's the county outside of Tampa Bay they're in?
St. Pete.
That's I want to say. I keep saying St. Petersburg. I want to say St. Petersburg.
That's too far south. It feels like though.
I know but I know wherever they are at is like 30 minutes away, from actual Tampa Bay, and damn, yeah, where is Tampa Bay? Look it up for me because I'm gonna keep talking.
Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, I was right.
I didn't realize that's where they were.
Yeah, so I was hoping that, okay, they can at least move to Tampa Bay. That's what a lot of people wanted, because it's like, hey, at least you're in the city, and everything, so people can get there easily, and so, it's more things to do there. So, but, no, I guess they still can't get with the city of where to build it or how much money to put towards it. So they are going to build a better stadium, but it's still going to be in St. Petersburg. But it looks real nice what they showed off. But like someone said, it's just that it sucks that they can't move, but they're going to build this nice stadium that nobody's going to go to.
Right.
And it's just so weird because thing is, it's not a baseball town. Like Tampa Bay like Florida itself really is that baseball town because Miami, even the Miami Marlins, formerly the Florida Marlins, they won 2 World Series within my lifetime, and and they just have people only show up in the playoffs,
Right.
and they're just not a baseball town. Like Florida is a football state and mainly college.
Yeah.
It's mainly college. It's mainly a college town, and football is.
And that's mostly
it's the
like
South.
northern Florida too, right?
Yeah, and and then you got a team like a Jacksonville for the NFL, which if they're not good, you're not getting people come up now. Now they're pretty all right, and so you got people showing up because it's still football, but yeah, because even like in NBA basketball, I remember the Miami Heat, like it will be because it's a lot of transplants there, so you'll see a lot of people from the other cities watching the games. Now, when Miami Heat became good, when they had fucking LeBron James, or when they had Shaquille O'Neal and Wade when they won that first one, yeah, you saw those people show up because and that's what it seems like for basketball it has to be. Baseball, I don't think it's nothing you can do. I don't think it's anything you can do because baseball is such niche. Even though baseball is big in the South, because if you look at a lot of the American players, a lot of them are from the South.
Yeah,
and I think that's been that forever in baseball. Like maybe the northern cities will have probably the bigger teams or something. But if you look at where those people are from, they ain't from New York. They ain't from Boston. They ain't from L.A. You got some people from California, but a lot of people, man, they from Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, Tennessee. They're from the South. But the South is big on college. Like if you look at college baseball and college softball, oh, it's fucking huge. Like those crowds are loud and proud, Daniel, loud and proud, and I think that's just what it is to the South because they only have professional teams, and it's been like that for so long that they're just into the college, and I think Florida is almost like a mix because it's basically like the South, but it's kind of different. It's kind of different too because it's also resort, and then like I said, transplants. Like people go there retire, or at least they did. I don't know how is that doing.
No,
do people still go there? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's still warm until it's underwater. People will still be going there.
So yeah, and I don't think. I think they tried. They put one in Arizona and they put one in Tampa Bay. Arizona I can get because Arizona was they were growing like Phoenix. They got everything. They got everything there. They even got freaking hockey. Come on, it's ridiculous. But Florida technically has everything too. But hockey, I think hockey even. I wonder. I think even hockey, maybe Tampa Bay Rays even generate probably more as far as fans. Now, I ain't talking about revenue. I have no idea. But, go there at least. Because I think it's probably people who even people who don't live and who not from Tampa Bay, they probably just go to hockey because they like hockey. And baseball's kind of, it's different. And yeah, it's just not one of those things down there. But yeah, because I want Tampa Bay. I wish it was because they've been a good team. They've been a good team for 5 years. I think they've been in the playoffs for 5 years straight. So, and they've been good for if you go over the last 10 years or so, they've been better than the Orioles. And they've technically been better than the Orioles, Yankees. Even though Yankees had some better records, but they've been more consistent. Even Toronto. Tampa Bay's been great, and it's sad that they're just in an area where there's no one, they don't have that consistent fan base to go there. And I'm not saying they fill up a stadium because Orioles don't fill up. We don't fill up. A lot of parks don't fill up. Because I watch the Orioles most of the time, so I'm going to say that. But look at a lot of parks. Only the biggest ones, like Boston and Yankees, but that's Yankees is freaking the biggest city almost in the world, and then you have and then Boston. It's like that history. So people, even when Boston sucks, the history of just Boston, people just go to the games. That's just what it is in those type of places. All right, so I spent a lot of time talking about that. So I guess that's it really. For for sports. So any big news from wrestling?
The biggest stuff coming out of wrestling right now is just...
What about UFC? Is the UFC players joined the wrestling federation yet or anything?
Not yet. There was definitely talk like for that merger that like, oh, if once UFC fighters are done with the UFC, they could potentially find lucrative jobs in WWE. But we'll see if that turns out. We've had a couple of UFC guys come through, and some of them work, some of them haven't. But the biggest thing in relation to that merger is now we are seeing some talent who is being released. Kind of the two biggest names coming out of that this past week are Mustafa Ali, who is a fantastic wrestler. I'm sure he'll find his way somewhere else. They haven't really done anything with him. The kind of odd thing is the fact that he had a match scheduled on NXT actually, in like the next coming weeks at their upcoming pay-per-view that obviously won't happen now. And then the other big one is Dolph Ziggler, just because Dolph Ziggler has been around forever. He hasn't really been on TV that I've seen much lately, but he was always kind of the guy that was kind of the gatekeeper. Like if you came up from NXT, he was probably one of your first feuds. He knows how to make guys look really good, and it seems like basically, especially after this outpouring after his release, that nobody really has anything bad to say about him. He's a guy that, like, during the pandemic would go on Pro Wrestling Tees and buy a whole bunch of indie wrestlers t-shirts just, to get them some revenue, which seems like a really, cool thing to do. But that's kind of what's going on with wrestling. There's not much in the way of in-ring stuff. I mean, AEW had their big Arthur Ashe Grand Slam show again this past week. That was good, but nothing really too crazy coming out of that. Kind of mainly continuing the status quo. So, yeah. All
right. So I guess we get to what we were watching. So, okay. So I watched most of the Teenage Mutant Turtles Mutant Madness. What's it called? I forgot the subtitle for that.
Mayhem, maybe?
Yeah. And like, I haven't finished it. I'm just at but I'm closer to the end than the beginning. And so far, what I watched, man, I really like this. I really like it. It's pretty good. It's a good take. It's a cool take on the Turtles. I know it's on Paramount Plus, I believe. And so if you got that, you can watch it, or you can go sailing in open seas. You know what that means?
It means take a cruise where it's all inclusive and they include latest streaming services.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I wonder, do they include that? Do they include all the streaming services on the on those cruises? Maybe the Disney cruise. Does Disney cruise at least include Disney Plus on their cruise?
It does, but it's the ad version.
And I forgot there was an ad version because I think my sister was talking about that. It's like, I gotta get the ad version.
Yeah.
I gotta get down on price and say, "There's an ad version," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Yeah, they added that when everybody else started raising their prices and whatnot. So.
But yeah, it's pretty good, man. I like it.
Nice.
I think it's a cool take on it. It's a different take. Yeah. Like if you're there, you're gonna see things differently. Like I will say this is a little spoilery. They don't like. They are the animals. Like this version of them is a version where they are animals. They weren't human. Like like Master Splinter wasn't a human. Like Oroko Saki, whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think that was probably Sweater. I forget it. It's the Japanese name. But he was a rat, which there are versions of that. Like he was just a rat anyway. Mm-hmm. But in this one, they learn ninja from like how to be a ninja in karate and all that stuff from television.
Of course they did.
So that's how they. Yeah. So it wasn't from. Like, he was a pet rat of some master, like in the original movie. Yeah. But no, they just learn it from there. And then he's all afraid of the outside world and stuff, and he's basically trying to keep the turtles hidden. Like, but of course they want to, go out and do stuff like the humans do. Yeah. Like they see on TV. And that's how they talk. It's pretty cool. But you told me about this documentary, which I have seen, like just the title of it on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. what's it called? BS
BS High.
High? Yeah, BS High. And like I've seen it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember when they were talking about this a while ago about this scam school that wasn't real. Because I remember they had it. I didn't watch it live on ESPN, but I saw it on Twitter and people talking about it, about this high school. Because I don't usually watch the high school matches on ESPN or any network where they play high schools play against each other. I never been into them. Like if I ain't go to that school or I don't know what the school is, I don't really care about that stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I'm just saying like I'm not really into it. But people are talking about how this school looks so terrible and like this, like man, these kids don't look like they know what they doing and blah blah blah. And then later on, you find out it was a scam. It wasn't a real school. Like then they had really real classes and stuff. And I was like, damn. And I remember like just reading some articles on it and guys getting sued and stuff, but nobody went to jail.
Nope.
And that's what I really learned. I mean, I learned more of the stuff that really happened in there and why they didn't go to jail, because I didn't know why nobody got locked up. But this
how
documentary,
can you just lie about being a high school and then not see any repercussions?
Yeah, the only repercussions the guy really got was just being sued for like not paying, people, and just to get out, but not really for what he did, not for really.
And even
for
then,
the
like
overall.
they said, he had like 20 lawsuits against him or something like that, and like still doesn't seem like he's going to jail for it. So it really shows me I can just go around and scam everybody.
Well, I mean, I think because at the end, I guess you just owe a lot of people money, and you just get your wages garnished. I don't know, but yeah. So the documentary was well done. I thought it was well done. It's very done in a very entertaining way, also, but also very informative. And the guy, I mean, he got to say his piece. And he really, if you're hoping for like some type of remorse,
no,
you're not gonna get that from him.
No, not at all.
Even though he does admit that what he did was wrong, but he'll do it again. He says, "Say yes, like a killer. It's like I killed, but I won't do it again. I'll kill it. The chance I'll do it again."
Those geese apparently.
Oh yeah, that was weird. That dude is weird. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he beat up a homeless man.
Yeah. And had his team beat up. Like it's just.
He shouldn't have got in his car, Daniel.
Yeah.
Man was trying to steal stuff.
He didn't
have a father. He had to teach him, Daniel.
Yeah.
Because he's like he said, that homeless guy probably didn't grow up with a father.
That's yep.
They gotta beat him. But and then now also apparently he's been abusive to his girlfriend allegedly. I mean, he did plead guilty.
Oh, did he?
I think he did.
Is that what they said?
I think at the
at the end. Okay.
I think they said,
I remember.
Like he did a plea deal or something. So I mean, so you can say that he didn't really do it, but I don't know. I believe that kid. I believe what that kid said.
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, hey, look, is not. This is definite, but I personally believe what the kid. The kid said he was fussing with that lady and stuff, and he slapped her. So I'm like, yeah, this guy probably was doing something to that girl. I mean, that woman. So. Yeah, this guy, it's pretty bad. But I do like that they say at the end, he's still just a symptom of it, the system. I mean, yeah, he's getting punished and everything, but like they said, that IGM school, that other school, that even the only difference between that school and what he has is that they have illegitimate, yeah, but it's still something where they're still using the kids. They're still making money from the kids to build them up. I guess that'll give them a chance, but it's not. They just have more money backing them. Put it like that. More, and they things are within the law. But
I will say, it seemed like the idea seemed like he was earnestly trying to, you know, get these kids a chance, but at the same time, in a way to promote himself. Like there's no doubt that part of the reason why he wanted to do this and wanted to succeed at it was that so he could be a big name in high school football and in college football, you know.
And that's what a lot of people do. And listen, I don't mind that selfishness as long as if it's still something good that comes with it. Like you say, But the thing is, when he hit that wall where they said, like, oh, this ain't going to work, like, or like, oh, we can't get this building, or like, can't get these classes, stuff, he started doing all these underhanded things. That's when he was like, oh. And then I did not understand the part where they played a game 2 days or a day before they was going to play on national TV.
Yeah.
Against and then he said some shit like,
goals.
Then he said some shit, it's not illegal to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's not illegal to do it. But why would you do it?
Right.
There was no reason. Like, what did he thought? I didn't understand his logic. Like, he thought, like, oh, it could get them,
they get money, it could get them ready for the game. Maybe?
But see, that's the thing. They didn't even go into that.
Yeah.
So, I want to, like, the way they explain it, like the kids to say, like, oh, it's gay to get us ready for the big game. I was like, but you already did. You played a game before there. And then you got that game on Monday or something like that. So, you don't play that next Saturday, or whatever, weekend, Friday, whatever. But still, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you go into a game after you just played a game a day before? Like a national TV? That doesn't make any sense at all. Who does that? Like, nobody does that. And that's the point where you said, like, when he gets upset when the kids said they don't care about us and stuff, and then he gets upset saying, like, oh, I did all this stuff. I'm like, but why'd you do that? No, you didn't. or your version of care is very, I don't know, it's very liberal. Like, you use a very liberal use of that word because it is, you don't play a football game a day before. Yeah. And then you play against the best team in the fucking country. It doesn't make any sense. It was dumb. And then, like, him not having trainers. Mm-hmm. And then he said, well, there wasn't no rule for training. I mean, I was like, well, what happens when your kid get hurt? Well, what you thought? Like,
they got community trainers, right?
They was going to,
facility got a trainer. Which, I mean, it seems wild to me that they don't have, like, this is, like, where did these referees come from? The referees are like a league thing, right? Why don't they have, like, a league trainer? It doesn't really make sense to me because, like, shouldn't schools have equal opportunity? Like, even if they're like a lower income school, they can't afford.
But see, and that's why a lot of people didn't. IMG and ESPN did not. They were asked to be interviewed in this, and but because I think it's some stuff that the league and those. They didn't do enough. Yeah. Because they didn't do enough. Because that school should never have been on TV. They should not only not been on TV, they should never even played. And, like, I think they even said, like, you need trainers. And, like, they shouldn't have been on field. When they asked them, like, they should ask you what you have. And if they say, like, do you have, like, it should be a checklist. And they say, like, you don't have no trainers, they'd be like, oh, you can't play. Because you need somebody out here. You need somebody here to, if somebody gets hurt. You have to have your own people for that. Because if I was that mom, I would have been calling the IMG people saying, get your asses over here. Even though I think by law they probably can't. It might be a law because it might be like, because whatever. Like I don't understand all that stuff. But I'm sure there is some type of legal action.
But that's the thing, right? Is like if I don't know who the representative that came in the room and said, where are your trainers? And this mother's like, well, I guess I'm the trainer. Like, doesn't that person have some sort of responsibility to call somebody?
What's your license or something? Do you have a license or something? It's like,
I mean, that's the thing. That's like what the school guy was saying is basically like, yes, like I've been trying to run the story up and nobody cared until they went on ESPN and got beat like 50-0.
Yeah.
Like that's the messed up thing is like nobody cared about this story until it became national news because they were an embarrassment on ESPN. Despite
and that's true.
Yeah. Despite it
now,
being like 3
what was
years
his goal?
Like
what was his goal? Because I guess he didn't think it would be as bad playing against the school. Like, not that they would lose, but to look so bad and so many injuries. I guess he didn't think that far ahead.
I mean, I think he even says it in the documentary. Like, he you have to think you have a chance, right? Like, so
yeah.
He wanted to be on ESPN, Downey. That's what it was. He didn't give a shit about those kids. He didn't give a shit about the school. Like, he just wanted to be on ESPN. I know that,
but I'm saying, it came with them realizing what was going on. Like, I guess he didn't think that would happen. He thought he would just.
But even then, like, what is? I mean, outside of them ending that season, like, nothing bad came of it. Like, sure, we're talking about this documentary,
but nothing more came of it for him, though. Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't know. We got this documentary.
That's what he said. But I was like, are you getting paid millions for this? I don't think you are.
No, in fact, I think as much as he ran his mouth, this might be what actually, sends him to jail, maybe.
And plus, he owes a lot of people money, so it's like I don't know.
I don't understand the dude, the other coach that was sitting next to him.
Oh yeah,
like, because his son was in the program the first year too. Like, what? I couldn't believe by the end of it that he was still just sitting next to that dude.
He was, because it seemed like he was making excuses for it.
Yeah, he 100% he was. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you remember he left and then he was still talking, and he was making excuses for like we did things to help these kids. Is like it's hard to see, and I'm like. And like at one point he said, I forgot what it was a quote in there where he said, like, this is when he was by him, when he was just in a room interviewing him, and he said that he don't want to say that they I forgot what it was, but whatever it was, he says he didn't want to say it, but it was something wrong, and it was he was making a lot of excuses, like he didn't. Like, when I heard him talking and the things he was saying, I was like, dude, man, you a problem. I'm like, I mean, if you, like, the other dude don't have a kid in this. Yeah. So, and he probably wouldn't put his kid in this or something like that. I think he even said something like, I wouldn't let my kid be with a person who abuses somebody. No.
Yeah.
So basically, he even though he said he didn't abuse anybody, but whatever. Like, you did this. You let this kid be here, like, to not even go to a real school. And I mean, I guess he thought he had a chance too. Yeah. I guess for him, it was the same thing.
That was his only option.
I don't know what his background situation is. That father's. Yeah. Maybe he was in a situation where, like, hey, this is a chance to make it big and help my kid too. At the same time, man, that's some fucked up shit. It's all fucked up all around. And how it just came to be. Like, how they just got basically away with it. Like, this is some messed up shit.
Yeah, because it's not even like if things had stopped once they got off the rails, right? Like, once they couldn't get the building, once they couldn't get the school, like, if they had just stopped there, like, this would be a different story. But instead, this dude was just taking advantage of these kids. And I say kids, and it's kind of weird because, like, that's another level of it, is you had these dudes that were not kids anymore. That were like, some of them were over 21 playing these high school kids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, from where they are, like, they seemingly what they know is football, and they weren't necessarily, or they didn't have the grades to get into one of these high level programs. So they didn't really know much else. They saw this guy, Roy Johnson guy, head coach, what do they know? They know to listen to the coach. So they're like, all right, this guy's giving me an opportunity. I'm going to listen to him.
Like Bonnie Jones said, the coaches, like, there's people who get, they say, like, people get names. Like, you know, the person becomes something like a doctor. They just known as a doctor,
Yep.
you know? And they like, somebody's known as coach, whatever his name is. And then they know as a coach and they know as a leader.
Yeah.
Or something. Why would you think he would do something to hurt you?
Right.
Like that would hurt you in the long run. Like the PPP loan thing.
Oh, my God.
Like, what the fuck? Like, here's the thing, Daniel. Even, I'm going to say this. Like, I think he definitely used those kids
100%.
and the people loans. But just to say, he said he didn't. That just tells me that somebody stole those kids social security numbers. So what kind of? So where'd you have that stuff stored?
He had it in his car. It was that homeless man, Dominic.
like either you did this or you did not secure.
Yeah, you were responsible.
Yeah, with those that information where it was easily stolen.
Yeah, because there's no way that a ton of those students just coincidentally, you know, all of them. Nah, it doesn't make any sense.
If that was that age, somebody and like that guy, like when that kid got asked that question, like, you know, they said you took out PP loans or something like that. I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck you just said. I don't know. I said, I didn't know I ain't taking on, like the kid said I ain't taking on loan. And I don't know what the hell that is. I said,
I also don't know how,
about?
like, did they take it out under the name of the school? Like, isn't that for a company? Like, how did an individual get a PPP loan?
I don't know.
But yeah, that's like between that and the evictions because he didn't pay the hotel, but they were under the kids' names, like
under their names. They were under their names.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm only freaking 17, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. Like that's the shit that like you may have permanently ruined their lives via these moves. Like it's one thing, you know, for them to play football for a year and it not to amount to anything. But like when you're ruining their credit scores and ruining them financially, that's a step too far.
Yeah, you took, not only you went through this fake school thing, that's to the point where it's like, there's nothing, what it's like, I can't see it from your side anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing, it's like, I'm trying my best to do something to make it big and help these kids do this. But then you do, those moves just puts it like, oh, nah, man. You were, the kids are right. And why are you upset with the kids when they say, like, you didn't care about them?
No, you actively scammed those kids.
Yes, maybe you cared about them at the very beginning before you realized shit was going to go your way. And you had to make it go your way.
Yeah.
Maybe you cared about it. Maybe you cared about them then. But other than that, I don't know how you cared about them and did this shit. But that was a good documentary. It was. Did I watch anything else? I feel like I watched something else. I did watch this series that's on. Apparently, it's on. I think I watched it through Paramount, but it's part of BET Plus. But it's based off a true story that I don't know how true this story is. Because when I look it up, the guy won't go too much details of the story. So I'm like, so how true is it? But anyway, it's about. Let me look it up. It's called Average Joe, and the main character is. I know he does the men's shampoo commercial. What's the shampoo called? Old Bay?
Oh, Old Spice?
Old Spice. That's it. Old Bay. Old Bay. Old Spice.
I used to always confuse those when I was younger.
yeah. Old Bay. Yes. You smell like crabs. Yeah,
yep.
It smell like crab. But anyway, Old Spice. He's the black guy who does the Old Spice commercials now. I mean, he's a comedian. I forgot his name, man. But it's a show about this guy who his father died. He was a tow truck driver. And so when the guy went to basically like clean up his office, the guy, he owned his own business. His father owned his own business. And so he went to clean up his father's office. I guess he didn't work with his father, though. He was a plumber himself. he see it all trashed up, and apparently his father, and then like somebody knocked him out. Then he realizes his father was working with the Russian mob, and they're looking for money. So they're asking him about the money.
Oh.
And things go wrong or well, good or bad. I guess it all depends on the situation. He somehow killed both of them. And then, but now they know there's money around, a lot of money his father has, like it's like $10 million and a Lamborghini somewhere.
Oh,
so they're thinking like, oh, maybe we don't just call the cops. Maybe we find this money first, then we call the cops. And that's how it goes. Like, it goes crazy. But they say it's based off a true story. And I'm like, I feel like this is something big. Like, that it should be out there. That I could easily just find that it's a true story. But, like, how much is it false then? Like, what's the true part? Yeah. What's the true part of this? But I don't know. I mean,
there's a guy by the name of Joe.
Like, it seems to a point where you don't even have to say it's a true story to find an interesting story. But I guess that would get some people to look at it and say, hey, it's based on a true story. Let's see how it is.
People love true crime like nowadays, Dominic.
But yeah, it seemed like I watched the first episode. It seemed like seemed pretty funny. Like, it would seem pretty funny. So I wonder how it goes from there. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Like, I was thinking like, oh god, it's some Tyler Perry mess. But because that's what it seemed like BT is, even though Tyler Perry didn't get to be the owner of the station, but he does have shows up there. But nah, it was actually seemed like it's pretty well done. I was a little shocked. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't really expect much from BT. I never been anything they had really on their show. I mean, as far as series, I mean, I did like I forgot what it's called. The game. I think it's called Game. There used to be a comedy on the CW /
yeah,
whatever, WB.
It was like players and their
CW.
wives and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then it turned to a drama when I got to BET. So I don't know. I didn't even like it. I didn't like it as much. And I was like, wait a minute. I didn't want to have it all serious, man. I want to be laughing. Say, where's the laugh track at? But yeah. So yeah, because my sister told me about it, and yeah, I actually liked it. The first episode. I might check it out some more when this Crunchyroll thing runs out on me. I'm still catching up on the One Piece, which is like I got 1,000 more to go. One Piece, the series I haven't gone back to. Witcher, I don't know if I'm going back to. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'll see. Because I did watch like a couple episodes of the latest season, and they were okay, but I don't know. I guess I feel like almost like I want to wait till the next season to see how it is, if it's worth just continue watching. All right, so I guess we get to what we've been playing. So what you been playing, man?
I've just been kind of jumping around a little bit. I played a little bit of Mortal Kombat still. I played a little bit of... I got back into
Mortal Kombat 1?
No, Mortal Kombat 11. And then a little bit of Miles Morales, just because, like, we're getting to the point where Spider-Man 2 is going to be coming out, and I would like to beat Miles Morales before I get around to that, but I haven't spent a lot of time with it. So that's all I've been doing this week.
All right, so I've been playing a lot of games. Most of the time I'm playing Starfield, but I jumped in some games because they came out this week. Liza P came out on Game Pass, so I played a bit of that. I got further than what I was, on when there was a demo.
Yeah,
and I got it running pretty well on my PC, so I don't have a problem going through the game now. Because I became really good at it, but yeah, it's I mean, yeah, it's just that my type of game. I might just go through it just because I can now, because I know I'm not gonna get frustrated. Oh, and also I started since I got the new hard drive. I downloaded Elden Scrolls. I said Elden Scrolls. Elden Ring. That's what it should be called. It's called Elden Scrolls. I called down Elden Scrolls and. Again, because it didn't run that well last time I tried it, but I was playing from a regular hard drive. Actually, no, I wasn't. I was playing with the SD drive, but it was slower. Okay. So now I got a faster one, and it seems to be running a whole lot better. Oh, and nice. I played some bit of it, and I realized, you know what, this game is still boring to me. I mean, even though I don't have trouble dying, it's just nothing. I don't know what's fun, and that's the thing. That's what gets me is that okay, now I'm not frustrated dying, but I'm not really getting anything out of this. I don't know, man. Yeah, it just comes to terms that these games, I need these games are for me. I'm just keep thinking like maybe I can find what people are enjoying from these games. And I guess the enjoyment is the frustration, which I don't see how that's enjoyable. I guess like going through the boss. I mean, through how hard it is and figuring out how to get past things. But I don't know. Like once I figure it out, I mean, I feel like I can figure it out, but I don't want to take too long to do that. Like I don't want it to. Like, oh, yeah, I just hit this thing and dodge and say, okay, it's fine. And then I get to a boss, and then you got to do more dodges. You just got to figure out the pattern and what's the best weapon probably to use. And I mean, that's, I don't know. It's feeling like it could be a way that it's a lot more fun to do than what that is. I don't know. Anyway, I also play some Vampire Survivors. I'm trying to think. I unlocked a character because I was trying to see, like, well, Daniel didn't unlock all these things yet. Let me try to unlock some. And I like one of these women. I forgot her name. Because they all have weird names anyway. Punella or something like that.
Yeah.
And what was her power? Oh, the gun. She has the guns. The blue and red gun. So it kind of just shoots like the red bullets and the blue bullets, from each respective gun, and it kind of shoots all around you. So I was playing with her, but it got to a point where I just died because there was just too many enemies, and I didn't have the right tools with me, probably to really get through that stage. I think it was the milking stage? I said milk. It was like kind of milk factory.
Yeah,
they call it a milk factory.
Milk factory or whatever.
Yeah, why they call it milk factory? What the fuck is that? Why they in a milk factory?
That's where.
And then I'm thinking, like, why is there a milk factory? Like, what time period is this in?
It's in the year 2080, Dominic.
Oh,
you got to manufacture milk because everybody's lactose intolerant now.
But you know what, Daniel? Man, that almond milk seems like it does the same thing to me as regular milk.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what it is.
They got too
I feel
close.
I'm thinking like, what is in it that is doing this to me? I don't know. Anyway, what else have I played? Judgment. I went back to some Judgment. I was like, yeah, let me play some Judgment. Get through some of the main story, and I did that, and then I did a side quest where I'm going against the last pervert Daniel, because I told you it's the trio perverts or something like that, or whatever they call. And this one is like but he's a different type of pervert. He gets off infidelity, so he goes into these hotels where. So he goes to the window of this hotel where people go to have their one night stands or whatever, or their secret lovers, and then he'll take a picture of them too. But he uploads and says, "Oh, how dare you do this?" And that gets him off, I guess. And then I just see him up there, so I have to shoot him down with my drone. Like he's crawling like they call him like a cockroach because he goes real fast. He's crawling real fast. Even though to me, I'm thinking about Spider-Man, but he just crawls really fast around. You gotta try to just shoot him down. It's crazy. So, thing is, the boy, he said that he caught my sister because she's with her her lover or something and they went to the hotel, so I need you to stop, get him before you upload those pictures. But to come to find out it wasn't, because I was thinking like that girl, I didn't think she was that type of girl, and like even like the guy in the guy you play as even said that. But you go and do it, then you realize it was really him, the brother. He was covering his ass because the girl came and said, "Oh, hey, how y'all doing?" And then I said, I'm up here I'm helping you get this guy. And she said, "What are you talking about?" And then you realize he was cheating. The boy was cheating on the girl, one of her friends, who was supposed to be a girlfriend. So she smacked him or whatever. Then since they were gone, somebody is hitting on their territory apparently. So there's a fourth pervert now, and he's called. I forgot what the guy was called. Hold up, let me see. The pervert trio, because I forgot what the guy with the like Spider-Man cockroach guy was. Pervert trio, Judgment. Let's see.
It's gonna have a lot of court cases linked on there.
You got. Yeah, that's the. No, here it is. All right, what's his name? Did you tell me his name? Actually, look, man. He said, chat hit the inside. They don't tell me his name up here. Oh yes, Creepin' Peep. His name is Creepin' Peep.
Of course it is.
What's the last pervert called? Fourth pervert. Fourth Judgment. It says pervert Fourth Amendment. I wonder what the hell that is. The pervert. They call him the pervert king.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know why he gets to say that, but he's this big, burly guy, like real big and strong, but he's naked, and he shows his junk to women. And like the girl, she was all like in the corner of the alley whenever we came to save her, and she was like, "Oh, this is like." So yes, she's like, "Look at my whatever," like innuendo of his junk, basically. Mm-hmm. It is so funny. I wish I had some of the lines. I mean, it's probably like the YouTube video of it, but but then when he turns to fight me, thank God he has like a big leaf in front of himself. And he said, I know, I only show it to the ladies, he said. Oh, I said, how respectful. And then you realize he's an old man, too. And then as I beat him up, and then he's on the ground, almost like his last dying words, he was talking, he was saying, like, he said, the reason I do is because I never lost my virginity. And I thought, oh, how no woman can ever see my massive, you know what. And I said, I felt this was the only way.
Oh, he's doing
then it
service.
Said, and then he kind of goes out like he closes his eyes. I was like, he did. then you hear him snoring. Then you hear him snoring.
Sure.
Oh man, this game it has some funny ass side quests, man. Oh man, but yeah, that was funny. And what else have I played? Oh yeah, the new Party Animals came out. The game Party Animals, which is kind of like you said, what's it called, Gang Beasts?
Yeah, Gang Beasts.
And another game too. That's kind of like it's quite a few games. I mean, there's definitely a whole lot of games on Steam that I like this because they use that. But the biggest one I can think of is Gang Beasts. And Party Animals seem like it's a lot more because it's not just you fighting these other characters. You are also other mini games. Like I just watched one where you have to stay on top of the sub before whoever's the last one on top of the sub wins because it is descending.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Going under the water. I played the soccer one. The one I played, I recorded it. Where I didn't choose it. It was like random. So because I didn't know. I was like, oh, this is we're not just fighting each other. We're on teams. And it kind of reminded me of what's that game called? The soccer
Rocket League?
Yeah, Rocket League. Yeah. It's kind of Rocket League in that way. How like the physics and stuff, like the bouncing the ball around. Yeah, that was crazy and yeah, I mean I enjoyed it. And there's other mini games too there. I just haven't tried them out yet or seen them. But I think it's an alright game. You said it was only $20. I mean, it's free on Game Pass, so definitely, I mean, it's worth. But only 20 bones, and with like a party game, I think that's a fine price. I mean, if we can just try it out before somewhere, I don't know, maybe, but I don't think it's like if you like Game Beasts or something like that, I think you'll like this, and it's more to it. But if you didn't like Game Beasts, or you think it's like, oh, it's not that good, or it's like it's not enough there for you, then that's fine. But I feel like for $20, I think it's fine. Like if it was like more, oh yeah, I'll be like, I don't know. But is there, and it's online play, not no fucking just couch co-op.
Yeah.
But even though I believe there is couch co-op, I mean, I'm not confirmed that, but I would assume
you would have
that
so.
it has it. But yeah, like I'm glad it's online play with that. So yeah, that. I mean, yeah, it seemed like it's a cool party game, just to have fun with and silly and really just have a laugh. All right, so that is it. I did try some other games, but I don't really want to talk about them. Because it's not. I didn't do much with them, and maybe I'll play some more this week. I'll talk. All right, so I guess take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right,
and we're back. And now we're flashbacking to... Are we flashbacking 10 years ago? Yes, we are. 10 years ago, we don't really have much games. I mean, it's a lot of games that came out, but not a lot of games worth mentioning.
No.
But we do have one big one. The Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker HD.
Yeah.
My favorite Legend of Zelda. And it looks even better in its HD version. And thing is, what is worth mentioning is that it has not been on the Switch yet.
Nope.
And I don't know what Nintendo's waiting for.
Games still trapped on the Wii U.
Yeah. And I guess, what are they going to wait for the Mega HD version so they can put it on the new Switch? I don't know.
I don't know what they're going to do.
But it's like, it could have came out, though. It could have come out on the Switch. I mean, there was plenty of time. There's been a few years of the Switch where it hasn't been much coming out, and you could have had an HD collection of Wind Waker HD come out. Mm-hmm. There's been months.
And Twilight Princess, which they also allegedly have, ready to go as soon as they want to.
Yeah, it's so, I don't know. It's so Nintendo. Nintendo.
It's very Nintendo, yes.
Also, you have Scribblenauts Unmasked, a DC Comics adventure. So this is the DC Comics version of Scribblenauts. So why is this so good, Daniel?
Basically, it's just Scribblenauts is a lot of fun. It takes the idea of you being able to basically write whatever you want, and then it turns it into a drawing thing. And that lets you solve puzzles and explore the world. But this added, of course, DC Comics characters to that mix. And, much like with the Lego games or even Mortal Kombat, DC makes everything better, Dominic.
Yeah, but Scribblenauts, and this is also on the Nintendo consoles and Windows. So it takes advantage of the Wii U at the time, of the pad, and then 3DS, of course, it has that bottom screen. And the Windows has Windows.
Wacom tablets.
All right, so you have multiple windows up there, and you can draw on the one. I never tried it. I never tried Scribblenauts. Have you played Scribblenauts before?
Yeah, Scribblenauts. I don't know if I played this one specifically or not. I feel like I remember vaguely playing it a little bit, maybe getting it as part of like a Humble Bundle or something on the PC, but I don't recall. I definitely played one of them, though. This did eventually come to the consoles as well, like PS4 and whatnot. I don't know if that ever came, free as something somewhere. But I feel like I've definitely put my hands on this one.
All right. So that is it for 2013. So now we're going back 20 years, and we got NBA Jam was released on the PS2. This is the 2003 version of NBA Jam, so it was like NBA Jam's been gone for a while, and now they brought it back. I totally forgot about this. It wasn't that good, especially after seeing NBA Street. I don't know, like, how you go back to NBA Jam, just only because of nostalgic reasons.
Yeah.
I saw people on some YouTube videos, like comments, talk about how they really liked the game, and one guy even said, like, his brother would be, he said he'll be mad at his brother for not wanting to play when he would always be playing 2K, and I'm thinking, like, well, he's playing a good game. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you could be so mad. But then I think one of the videos even says, that, hey, this game is not that bad. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But after playing NBA, if I have NBA Street, I don't know. There's no reason for me to play NBA Jam. Like I was looking at it, and I mean, if there was no NBA Street, it will be fine. But, I mean, Street was just so much better. And it's just like, Jam didn't do nothing to really go after it. This is when Acclaim still had NBA Jam. So this is their last attempt at NBA Jam before EA ended up getting it. And then EA didn't do anything with it much either. They didn't have the game they had was pretty mediocre to average to mediocre also. And when they had NBA Street, so that's it's just it's sad. It's sad that we will never get that. I wish there was like a HD release of that game, even though the players in that game are old, but the game is still better than any other freaking arcade game, arcade NBA game out there now, because there are no arcade NBA games. There's just the like the court stuff in the neighborhoods that's in NBA 2K, but that's closer to more of a simulation than anything. But I mean, it's still arcade-ish, but simulation-ish at the same time. Yeah, I just think I don't want a new one because I think they're gonna fuck it up. I don't want a new NBA Street because they're gonna fuck it up. I just want the old one.
That's all Dominic, I want. We're past the dark and gritty, so like at least we wouldn't get like the XSX equivalent of NBA Street.
Yeah, that's true. All
There'd
right,
just be a ton of loot packs in there.
There would be so much. You would have to get the fro. You would have to buy the fro. You can't even get the air fro on that guy. The guy would just be bald. It's like, hey, do you want this fro? You gotta unlock it, and you're gonna unlock the gold fro or something like that. Here's the golden fro, the platinum fro. All right, Voodoo Vince came out for the Xbox, and this was like one of those mascot type of games.
Yeah.
For the exclusive to the Xbox. Yeah, yeah. I never played it. I don't know nothing about this. I don't even know. Is this backwards compatible?
It is, I believe. It better be. I mean, what's his name? Phil Spencer was out on stage with the Voodoo Vince shirt on when that thing came out. So that HD one came out. So it better have been big enough thing to be backwards compatible.
Yeah. When did the remaster come out?
I'm looking that up now.
Like in what was 2017?
Xbox. Does it?
Damn, Steam people gave that game like a 9 out of 10. Man, that's some big Voodoo Vince fans.
Apparently.
I need to play that.
2017.
Yeah, I was right. Okay, 2017. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it isn't backwards compatible. Maybe it's just you have the remastered version. But yeah, Voodoo Vince was it was all right. I mean, I think it got rated average, like around the sevens maybe.
8s,
yeah, range. So it was nothing that I got like jealous over because I didn't have an Xbox though. Even though it looked good, I mean, I like what it looked like when I saw the screenshots at the time. But I was like, hey, I got freaking Ratchet and Clank and I got Jak and Daxter. I was like, I am good. And I still got Mario 64. So I am good.
Yeah.
All right. So what else we have here? No, nothing. That is it for 2003. So now we go back 30 years, and Sonic CD was released in Japan. This is the 30th anniversary of Sonic CD. This is one of the this is probably one of the best Sonic games that people say. I was not impressed by this game when I first saw it because I was thinking like it's Sega CD, and that means the game's gonna look incredible. It just looked like Sonic to me.
Yeah.
So I was very confused. It looked like Sonic 1. I didn't know the difference. So as a kid, like I didn't know the difference. I saw it said, I was like, it looks like Sonic 1. I was like, why would I care about playing Sonic 1 just because it's on CD? I was like, is the music better or something? I was like, why? What's the big deal? So I didn't really appreciate it when it came out. I mean, first of all, I didn't have a Sega CD anyway, but I didn't care. It wasn't. But later on, I saw people saying like how great it was, and I was like, well, what was it great? It was just Sonic 1, right? And there was some differences with it. Like it. Let me see. What was it? Come on, Wikipedia, please have something. The story, blah blah blah. No. All right. It was design. Okay, Sonic Hedgehog had a balance on speed and platforming. STI built on speed, but Sonic 2's more focused level designs. However, Shima said our design's ideas were to make the world and setting larger and to add more replayability so it would be something you could enjoy playing for a long time. According to the artist, because it was a Sega CD game, the team wanted Sonic CD to stand out compared to previous Sonic games. Visually, the game was designed to resemble CG imagery. The Sonic sprite on the title screen was based on a Sonic figurine, and that the team photographed and scanned. Okay, see, so graphically it is better. I couldn't tell as a kid that it looked better. Like, okay, now looking at it like with next to like Sonic 1, it does. Like the backgrounds, it looks better. But yeah, as a kid, it wasn't so noticeable. But yeah, I'm probably the wrong person to talk about this. I mean, I played it years later. But I really, honestly, I never played it that long. I never even beaten the game. I think it's got through the first like world. Yeah, I never beaten it. So I don't know. It just because I never had an affinity for it. But thing is, this was like a big deal for Sonic fans. Like this is like, oh, this is the like they did a really good job with this, and yeah,
next generation Sonic.
Yeah, so and this is one of his last good games, really. I mean, '94, I believe that's when Sonic and Knuckles came out, and then after that was Sonic 3D Blast, which I wouldn't consider a good game. So yeah, all right. So that is it for the flashback segment. So we're going to take a quick break when we get back and get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. Capcom has announced that Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy is coming out next year, January 25th. That's going to include the newer Ace Attorney games, Apollo Justice, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, and Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. And that's coming out on, most of the things. I also wanted to mention that because Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy, the original 3 games, that's coming to Game Pass next week. So,
oh, shit. Yeah. I didn't know that.
If you have not given those games a chance and you got Game Pass now, it's a great opportunity to do that. Oh, and I'm hoping that trilogy will follow suit shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
I was hoping as part of that announcement that it was actually coming out for Game Pass at the same time because Capcom has, put a couple of things out there. So, but no luck as of yet. All right. In other game announcements, you got The Division 3. That was kind of unceremoniously announced. What? That has been no trailer or anything.
Was this Tokyo Game Show?
The Division stuff was not Tokyo Game Show. Okay. It was kind of like investor stuff, I think, basically. There's a tweet that Ubisoft put out saying, oh, hey, here's the new game director of the Division games, and Division 3 is in active development, basically. It's not like the official, here we're showing it off thing, but they have now acknowledged that it is, in fact, in development, which I think we could all presume, they're putting out that mobile game. So it's not like The Division is Splinter Cell, where it's a franchise that they have seemingly just completely forgotten about yet. So it'll get there eventually, Dominic, though. All right. All right, Dominic, next up, coming out of Tokyo Game Show, Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. This is the one that follows Kiryu between Yakuza 6 and Infinite Wealth, the latest one that's coming out. That's got a release date that's coming out November 9th and is going to be on Game Pass day 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Like a Dragon Ishin, the one that came out, I believe, earlier this year, right? Yeah. That is coming out on Game Pass as well later this year. They didn't give a date for that. And then they announced that Infinite Wealth is going to release on January 26th next year. Nothing about Game Pass as far as that one yet.
Actually, Like a Dragon Ishin, was it earlier this year or was it last year? I forget. I
can't remember because they announced like all 3 of those at the same time, and then yeah. But they also had a new trailer for Infinite Wealth that shows off gameplay and stuff. It's looking like a Yakuza game, but it's looking like a lot of fun. All right. Next up, Dominic, we talked about it last week, but Unity, their whole, change in policy, adding a 20-cent, what was it called? Runtime fee, basically, for developers anytime somebody installed their game. They, of course, walked that back. But there's still that policy in place for some companies, but it's one of those things where they're like, okay, we've got this option now that's not going to be as bad. We got this option. Basically, I'm going to read the excerpt from their thing here. Our Unity personal plan, which is the free one, will remain free, and there will be no runtime fee for games built on Unity Personal. We will be increasing the cap from $100,000 to $200,000, and will remove the requirement to use the Made with Unity splash screen, which that's kind of cool. No game with less than $1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the runtime fee. For those creators on Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise, we are making changes based on your feedback. The runtime fee policy will only apply beginning with the next LTS version of Unity, shipping in 2024 and beyond. Your game that are currently shipped and the projects you are currently working on will not be included unless you choose to upgrade them to this new version of Unity. So basically, like in the licensing and terms of service, if you're running an old version of Unity, you can continue to abide by those licensing terms, basically. Whereas if you upgraded to the latest version that will have this included in those terms and services, basically, they're not going to make you agree to this if you didn't previously agree to it. But if you are agreeing to pay this fee going forward, then you're going to end up paying that fee. But they said for games that are subject to the runtime fee, they are also giving developers the choice of either that or a 2.5% revenue share, or the calculated amount based on the number of new people engaging with their game each month. Both of these numbers are self-reported, which I don't know what that means necessarily. It doesn't seem like the developer is going to be reporting it. But self-reported from data you already have available. So I don't know if that means this is information that they share with these developers already or what. And they will always be billed the lesser amount. They did this, of course, it was going to have a bad reaction. And, they're trying to smooth things over with this change. But the reality is, I think they've already burned this bridge with a lot of developers. And if they have other options, I think those developers are going to take them. And we're going to see a steady decrease in the use of Unity overall. When you have, a lot of developers were talking about Godot as a new option for, basically their smaller style indie games.
Oh, the Source Engine?
What's that?
The Source Engine.
I don't know what the deal is with Source Engine. I mean, outside of the fact that it feels relatively out of date, even though they have Source. Is it Source 2 that they're still using now? And the one that they're upgrading Counter-Strike to, but it's that's the one that nobody talks about. And I don't know if that's just because it's harder to get your hands on and work with Valve to allow you to use that, because it's not just Valve that uses that engine, but I don't know that it's an open and free thing that you can use.
Crytek?
I laugh, but Crytek was working with Amazon on that Lumberyard engine for a while, and I don't know whatever happened with that. I think I even downloaded that at one point at the height of me I'll dabble in making games. But
what was the engine the Burnout guys were using?
What were they using? Burnout engine. Was that the Frostbite engine? Was that EA's?
They were
before it?
Yeah.
Was it I feel like it was a Cry something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it felt like it was a C. It began with a C.
Cryo engine renderware. Does that sound right?
Renderware, maybe. Abe's Wonderwear?
That's the first thing that comes up. There's also, well, those are just things that people also search for. I mean, maybe we're just thinking like Criterion because that's the developer.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'm
thinking.
Didn't
they have like a Criterion engine?
I thought they had their own
engine. Yeah, but like Godot is an open source engine, so like even more than like early Unity, it feels like people might, now that they've been pushed in that direction, they might, kind of focus on going in that direction, and this might be the kind of catalyst to make them a major player in these game engines where people can't, necessarily use Unreal, because based on what I've been seeing, the talk around is basically like Unity has become a huge player in mobile, because if you're building a smaller style game, Unreal, you can do it, but it's basically overkill. So Unity slotted in there very well, and that's why some of this new policy also had a lot to do with like ad revenue and things of that nature, because apparently like even Call of Duty Mobile is made on Unity. So yeah, we'll see where this goes for them. I don't know that they haven't already done a lot of the damage that they were going to. It might make the people who were very close to release just commit to releasing, but anybody that's far enough back in development, near the start of a project, it might just be worth it to them to move on and not worry about what Unity's going to do in the future. Because, if they've done it before, what's to stop them from attempting to do it again? So we shall see. All right, Dominic, in some other news, we may finally be coming to the end of this whole Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, purchase. The CMA has basically granted them preliminary approval following the Ubisoft cloud streaming deal that has been, proposed by Microsoft. So I believe there's like a date mid-October, like the 18th or something, where they're supposed to have their like final ruling. But it seems like this deal is going to get closed, and hopefully with the Ubisoft cloud stuff, that doesn't screw up too much with us just getting stuff via the cloud still. That would be my only concern, is like, how does Microsoft handle that? I'm assuming that means they have to pay Ubisoft to license the games to make them cloud streaming available even to those of us in America. But if that's what they're promising, that they're going to have their first party games on there, hopefully that means they're just going to commit to doing that, and we're not going to have to deal with any of that, really. It's just going to be back end stuff that they got to...
Yeah, I just don't want to hear about this anymore. It should have been closed.
Exactly.
Damn. God damn it.
Just give me Tony Hawk on Game Pass. And give me a new Tony Hawk. Give me 2 or 3 and 4 remastered. Come on. All right then, Dominic. So that's a win for Xbox this week, but
it's a win for America.
It's a win for America. But Xbox took a big L this week because they allegedly put up their own unredacted documents on the FTC website for basically everyone to access. And as such, we got basically the Nintendo GigaLeak equivalent of Xbox information this past week. Some news about some future plans, also some sales stuff, also just some email exchanges between executives. There's one of the things that people have been making the biggest deal out of is Phil Spencer basically saying, if he could purchase Nintendo, that would be a huge crown in his, a huge feather in his cap, a big career.
Oh, so that's what he said. Oh, moment. That's what he said. Okay.
Yeah, and it's basically him saying, the email is basically him saying, like, that's not really something that is viable right now. A hostile takeover would be a bad idea. But we would like to be able to convince the Nintendo, that their best future is not on their own hardware, which is ironic because I I've basically been saying that about Xbox at this point because it seems like that's kind of where they're going. Like if they didn't release a next console and were able to convince Sony to put Game Pass on their system or Nintendo or, just PCs and TV streaming or whatever, like it feels like that might be their best bet, but I don't know. So that, people are making a big stink about that, again, Microsoft trying to buy up, everybody, but the reality is it's more like he's saying it's not really a viable thing. He also posits like Valve would be a great company to purchase. And there was some actual discussion about buying Warner Brothers because there was some talk, when Warner Brothers, before this whole like HBO thing, like them possibly selling off their games divisions. But basically what's said in those emails is like, yeah, we could buy those studios, but they don't own any of that license, So basically, like, what's the point in buying that stuff if you're not getting the actual licenses out of it? Which
you're getting original games, as they say that's what Xbox don't do. They can't build their own.
I mean,
even though I don't give a damn. I just want games.
I don't care where the games come from. I just want them.
Yeah.
Who cares? Fucking let them be the money in the pockets of these developers.
Those Twitter people on Twitter care. They say that's just wrong. It's wrong that they buy places and they can't just build from within like Sony does.
Sure, because Sony has not bought any studios.
Oh, but according to them, or the ones they did, it wasn't a bad thing.
No, of course, yeah. All right, some other stuff that came out of this. Apparently, there's an Oblivion and a Fallout remaster in the works. We'll see if that is the case and if those come out anytime soon.
I will love that, especially Oblivion, because the way you level up, change that.
Yes, please.
So I don't have to keep jumping everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, and it feels like if you're gonna do one that's more than like a remaster, I think Fallout New Vegas would be the one that I would like to see get like a not necessarily remake, but something more than just like an up-resing. Give that some more.
What they're really good is that since they posed to be doing a Knights of the Old Republic remake for the PS5 or whatever, they should do the Knights of the Republic 2 and finish the game and use Obsidian and say, Obsidian, finish the game.
That would actually be quite
hilarious
if that came out. Especially because that would probably end up coming out before the other one. Since that one seems to be in development hell, that would actually be quite amusing. But yeah. Some other interesting news that came out of this is that as of the writing of when they made the chart that is in here, and I think it was sometime in like 2000 or 2021, 75% of the Xbox Series family of consoles was Series S's. That may have been partly due to availability, but I think that speaks largely to that people are looking for something that's more affordable. You got everybody complaining about, it not being the most powerful thing, but at the same time, it does give accessibility to some people that wouldn't otherwise be able to play some of these more next gen games, And
like we said before, ignorance is bliss. You don't know what's the possibilities if you don't see them. So you don't, and I mean that's not the only reason. It means it's multiple reasons, but I'm saying, but one of them is ignorance is bliss. And not in a negative way.
No.
At least for me, it's not negative. Or you don't care about you just want to play the latest, be able to play what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care if it's there's a superior version, but you got to pay more.
Yeah.
So no, I just want to can I afford to buy it, and am I able to play it? And just being able to play it, not thinking like, but it could get so much better. Because at that point, you
could run this at 120 frames per second.
Almost, you know what? You can do that with almost everything. But because even with the console, like you put those powerful consoles now, which is the Series X and the PS5, you can just say like, man, if they could still be more powerful than this, and then it's like there's no end to that. At the point you just want to play, and and listen, the people who are really like the graphics whores, or I don't want to call them that, but the guys who want the frames per second and stuff like that, they want the quality and the frames per second, like. You're in the minority. Like the people who like want it so much, like they'll just won't get a game. Yeah. You're in the minority. Like at the end of the day, people just want to have fun. That's it. They just want to play something, have fun. Not everybody's just totally into games in that way where they just want to play the game and have some fun. And for people like you, that's where you have the PC. It's like, I'm sorry, that's what the PC's there for. Consoles are not meant to be that. I wish it was the consoles could do that at an affordable price, but if it gets to a point where you gotta pay more than $500, then it's not, to me, it's not worth it. It's like, man, why invest in that? Just invest. It's supposed to be a whole lot simpler, with the consoles and things of that nature, and more affordable, simpler and affordable. And that's what the consoles are meant to be. Mm-hmm. Oh man, got a fucking touchdown! Damn it. But yeah, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, especially after COVID, and how the economy has been going, and COVID has really pushed it. Like the economy is always going. Is that I'm not surprised by them. More people are buying this version than the other version. I mean, it's man. Like people still want to have fun, but they also want to they need to save money because things are just too expensive. Too expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
All right, Dominic. Well, speaking about consoles, apparently there is a mid-generation refresh for these consoles planned for next year. Although it doesn't sound like it's going to be, it almost sounds like a PlayStation Slim style thing over here's a PlayStation Pro or an Xbox One X kind of situation. They have shown off slides for both of them. There is an S, which according to The Verge is reportedly scheduled to come out in September of 2024, and an X in November. Along with a new controller, which seems like it's finally going to add like full haptics and accelerometers, much like a PlayStation or a Nintendo controller, which I'm all for because I always preferred the Xbox controllers, but I have that dongle for the Switch where I can use any controller I want. And since I don't have a Pro controller and haven't really been interested in getting one, I've been using the PlayStation controller because it has the accelerometer to do the gyro stuff in it. And I would love for an Xbox controller to have basically the same functionality there. Otherwise, it pretty much looks the same, except it's like the top of it's white and the bottom like dangly bits are black. It's almost like they dipped half of the controller into black paint. It's kind of a weird look, but it's all right. It's also going to have direct to cloud stuff, which is kind of what like Stadia did, where it's just going to connect to Wi-Fi. So you allegedly have better, lag and stuff like that. A better ping to the server when you're playing cloud streaming games. But the X refresh is going to be cylindrical instead of a cube or whatever a long rectangle is, 3-dimensional rectangle. It's going to have 2 terabytes of hard drive space. The biggest thing is it's going to be all digital, according to this slide, adorably all digital, which is just like, who is making these slides? Also, same great price, $4.99. Here's where it breaks down for me, Dominic, because as of right now, we have a PlayStation 5 that is all digital, that is the same specs as the PlayStation 5 that includes a disk drive, and that is $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
Why would the Xbox refresh cost the same price without a disk drive now? Like, That
because
seems shitty.
Like I told you, I think it's the extra gig.
Yeah.
They're charging for the extra gig. And,
Terabyte.
But terabyte, I'm sorry. That extra terabyte. And
in this economy, it might as well be a gig.
They charge for the extra terabyte, and that's not. I mean, I don't think that's enough, honestly.
Yeah,
I think
it's pushing it.
Yeah, but like see, because everybody's cost cutting, man, and it sucks that it's almost to the point where these companies aren't willing to take a little bite of something. No. They're saying like no, yeah, and the companies aren't doing that anymore. It seems like it seems I don't I mean, at least not with these gaming companies. I remember like they talk about like, oh, they selling this at a just amount of loss, blah blah blah, but because really. I was hoping that it was $3.99.
Yeah,
like I was like, oh shit, this $3.99. But man, like, cause $4.99, and I'm thinking like, okay, fine, you take out the disk drive, but man, it better be like not just 2 terabyte, it better be freaking like at least 4. It may be something. It's gotta be something else to this. Give me 2 controllers at least or something, man. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like that the extra space. For me, it's the extra space, but not having a disk drive, because like you said with the PlayStation, that's
just when you put those two things side by side, and we'll see what happens when they do this alleged refresh for the PlayStation, like where that price goes. I almost feel like now that this slide is out there, and that they know Xbox is going in the direction of keeping that higher price for an all-digital system, I wonder if we now see PlayStation come out with this no disk drive refresh at $4.99, and then in addition to that, if you want the disk drive that allegedly you can add, separately, if that's going to be another $50 or $100 in addition to that higher price, which it would just, to me, be absolutely insane, but that's what we're talking about nowadays. We're talking about a time when, Oculus Quests are going up in price instead of going down in price several years on. So, and I mean, Phil Spencer has also even basically said, I don't remember if it was an interview or something, it wasn't part of this leak, but basically not to expect price drops in hardware the same way you've seen in the past with the way things are right now. It's just really fucking shitty.
And I know a lot of people, because like you got those people again who they don't like where it's going, like with no diskless systems, and I know I saw some people saying like, look, man, I said like. I went back to, I had sold I had a diskless system, and then so like I wanted a disk system because like, or they were going digital. Now they had a disk system, but they say they're digital, but then they're going back to this because like, man, like shopping because of cheapness of like some of those deals in stores or even online, of the disc sales. But it's just like, I don't feel like, I mean, for me personally, it's just convenience. I don't feel like going to shop, and I mean, I said that before, like going to look, because I don't know, because they're not in the paper. Like some of those, like the clearance prices aren't in papers, only like it was like a sale. And so I don't know what's really went down. Plus you have to literally shop, and I'm not that type of guy. But thing is, but like I keep, like, and people keep telling these people is that, what game do you have that you really truly own, or like what game is like really great that you can't play anymore because you had it digital, or something like that you just want to play now. I mean, I'm sure there's some games out there that did, but what are they like? Because all the great games seem to be available. And then the multiplayer games, like somebody says, they're multiplayer. Like they're based on the servers up. Yeah. Like if the server's not up, it don't matter if you don't have a disc or not. So, and then games with like we talk about patches and stuff. So I think we're past that point. Did we just hit a home run? Because I'm watching the Orioles too. Ah, fuck! It stayed in the bar. But yeah, so I don't know. Like these people are. I mean, I get it that you're trying to get like it's good if you're talking about just sales, fine. If you're just talking about that point, that's fine. Because then, but if you're talking about like, oh, I'm gonna have this, like that's over. I think I say, yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter. Yeah, the games we have are going to be there. It's that it all depends on what type of game it is, about how long it will be there, and then with the patches and things of that nature, if it's a broken game from the beginning, then it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it looks like that we're going to that diskless space. It looks like we're going to that diskless space, and some people are even saying like, "Oh, this is backwards for Microsoft not having." I say, nah, that's over. That's done. The people don't.
They say that, but as
like
soon as that
anymore.
PlayStation comes out without a disc drive,
yeah,
it'll be all about it.
Yeah,
and I think Xbox does need to have a way to add a external hard drive. You know. Especially if PlayStation does. My wonder is what is retail going to look like when they are no longer selling disc-based games?
Cards. You know, those little digital cards.
I guess that's
it.
It's going to take up a lot less space, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we shall see. So yeah, the other thing that came out of the leak, also of course. Microsoft is thinking about their next console as well. They're tentatively slating that for 2028, which sounds about right. Kind of the interesting tidbit out of that is that it could be ARM-based instead of x86-based, which the past consoles have been, which is more similar to regular computer hardware. ARM hardware is more similar to mobile. So I wonder if that means, you know, we talked about it last week, but you've got iPhones that can run, you know, Assassin's Creed and games like that now. So is that a way to get a lower power consumption whilst keeping the same relative level of fidelity? There's also some talk about like hybrid cloud, you know, console stuff. So, you know, is that how they supplement a maybe not as powerful thing? 2028, it feels so far away, even though, you know, it's only 5 years, maybe not even, you know.
What? They couldn't get in the end zone? I'm sorry.
Oh, man. But yeah, so I don't know. 5 years from now could be anything, you know. This world could look very different or very similar. We'll see. So, you know.
Could be living on the moon, Daniel.
Could be living on the moon. Yeah. Elon Musk going to shoot us over to Mars or whatever, and we're going to all blow up mid-trip. Yeah, so we'll see.
But that's gotta have like a good connection too. Like you talk about like be able, because now, well, I hope it could be a different world. Like I said, I hope they brought those islands up where there's just gonna be server islands, and because those wait times in the afternoon and I mean evenings and afternoons, man, they have become long.
Yeah,
like there is like ever since Starfield came out, it is just a regular. I mean, it was growing. It was growing during the summer. And Starfield come out, it's just like, hey, past 3 o'clock or something, past 3 or 4 o'clock, man, if you're trying to play online, there's going to be some type of wait time. And you might get lucky to get right in, or sometimes, I think the longest I've seen was 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, man, it's there. Like, they've got a lot of people on the Game Pass now. And now it's trying to open up make some room. And I really wish they had a deal with Nvidia, something, man, for I don't have to pay another fee for them. Good God. Like I told you. But I finally got into that game though at Starfield when I had like 100 or something people in front of me. I forgot what it was. It was over 150, I know that. But it went down quick. It kept going down quickly, you know, because people would stop waiting, or maybe they get in, or some people left. And then I finally get in, but you only have an hour time. And thing is, I think my hour time was taking up just the fucking rendering. It was doing all this shit. I was like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be play this fucking game. What the fuck is this? And yeah, it had the rendering and everything, and I was like, the only thing it should be doing is syncing my save data. Like, I shouldn't have to go through the rendering process.
That seems
and all this,
crazy.
And then you have to sign in, and I think you have to do that each time. Somebody said you have to each time for if you're doing through Game Pass, you got to sign in. I was like, oh, that sucks. So going through all that and finally getting the game, I don't know, like how much time was spent because that rendering took a while. It wasn't quick. But I just wanted to see how it played, and it does play. It plays better than Game Pass because technically it's playing off a PC, even though it's not the best PC because you're playing on the free version of NVIDIA. Yeah. But it's still better than what Xbox Series X is through their streaming service. So it's probably a combination of the streaming and the quality machine you're playing from also. I just wish Microsoft had it like that, man. I wish they were playing off of PCs. That's what I wish they would just go buy NVIDIA. Buy them. Buy them, Microsoft.
I don't know what their market cap looks like, but I don't know if that's something that Microsoft is willing to even attempt at this point, because NVIDIA is huge right now. So, but yeah, that's kind of that's the most important or interesting stuff to us. I feel like everything else is like, oh, this was Microsoft's reaction when the PlayStation 5 was announced. And they're like, oh, yeah, ours should be 30% more GPU power, so we should be fine. Like stuff like that. I think it's shaken out in the real world. Like those consoles are basically equivalent. I haven't seen anything where it's like this game runs demonstrably worse on either console, you know? So really all of that fight is still just being held up by fanboys, it feels like.
God bless those fanboys, man.
Yeah, God bless them. Keeping us in content, Dominic. But yeah, that's kind of the news that I've seen so far this week. We got some new releases here real quick, Dominic. You've mentioned a couple of them already. Party Animals, that's out on PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series. And that's on Game Pass, of course. That does look like a lot of fun. I might give that a try. Liza P, that's out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. That's out on Game Pass as well. I didn't realize that game was also on, the last gen consoles. I wonder how that holds up there.
Payday 3?
No, Liza P.
Oh, you talking about Party Animals? I'm sorry, I was looking at that game. I'm sure it's just fuzzier.
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of that stuff feels like. But yes, Payday 3, that's out now as well. That's out on PC, PS5, Xbox, and on Game Pass. I believe what I have seen of that is not great right now. It sounds like that game did not launch in a particularly great state. So,
and that's because it's on Game Pass, as people will say. Game Pass.
Jeez. It's got a 7 on IGN, 68 on OpenCritic right now.
I don't know what Payday 2 got when it came out.
I don't either. It feels like one of those games that definitely wasn't a huge deal until like 2-3 years down the line, when all of a sudden people were still playing it and you had no idea that people were still playing this game, but somehow it's secretly been like the biggest game in the world. So
yeah, and those games are games that change.
Yeah,
like because it's those online basically only games, or like I'm assuming Payday 3. I have no idea, or it is not worth playing with bots, like, probably. But yeah, it's those games that it changes. Like it's probably Payday 2 is probably totally different than probably maybe it was when it first came out.
And it's going to be about the content that they deliver for that game. And yeah. It's a live service game. Mortal Kombat 1, of course, we talked about that last week because that had been an early release. That's out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS5, Xbox. And then The Legends of Nayuta Boundless Trails, that's out on PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS4. This is apparently a spin-off of the Trails games that you like, Dominic.
Yeah, I don't, and I mean, I guess I'll look at it down the line. Yeah, because I got some other Trails games that have come out that I want to check out. Yeah, damn, this trail series, man.
They're piling on.
Goddamn, I beat that damn Bushin Cat, man. If he never told me about this, I would just been like, oh, there's a lot of these Trails games.
Living in
I would not
ignorance
been into
right
them though. Oh man, like now I'm getting behind. I thought I was caught up. I say, oh good, I caught up, and now it's like, oh fuck, they keep coming out now. I say those bastards. See, and this is another game where this will help with AI.
Exactly.
Voice translation because they would have more of it. Actually, because they wouldn't be missing a lot from the U.S. versions because of, I don't know, not wanting to pay so much. But yeah, so I will love that or something. I wish it was some type of program to be like, hey, AI speak for me, but don't sound like a robot.
I don't know, Dominic. You use the Windows one sometimes. I think sometimes you wouldn't even mind if it sounded like a robot.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I mean, better than nothing sometimes. Yeah. While some people don't, they feel like, that they would rather just read. And I feel it. I just want the choice. I want the option. And the option would be for me is that I want the robot. I want something to read to me.
It would be nice if they started to implement that. Like, we have the technology now to, even as just an accessibility feature, for people that might be.
Yeah, I mean that's what Pentiment was. It was an accessibility feature with that, and that it will read that stuff. Plus, it was a Microsoft published game, so they just integrated with their own thing. But
it just had Clippy read it to you.
Yeah, I just wish they would have it so that these games can do that. Like I can just have that in there.
That'd definitely be nice.
Nintendo should have their own with like burial restart.
That's why they got rid of what's his face, because they're like, we trained the AI model to do your voice now. We don't need you anymore, old man. Go on some trips around the world and say how much you like being Mario. We're gonna pay your salary for the rest of until you die, but don't besmirch us. Yeah. So that's all I got this week, Dominic. You got anything else for the people?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod. SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and any other place you may find an audio podcast. Until next time, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. See ya.